Hello, challenging tubers, and welcome back to what is probably the final episode of my Final Fantasy I solo character challenge runs in the Game Boy Advance remake of Final Fantasy I. We're gonna go through with the White Wizard, the 6th of the classes solo. We've had a pretty fun time with the White Wizard. I've enjoyed it for sure. Access to Holy has been a lot of fun, and all the healing and blinking has made a lot of difficult encounters not so bad. Just to quickly overview the equipment, we're only using base equipment from the vanilla NES game, and we haven't really tried to level grind per se, but we ended up at a pretty high level anyway. And we're not going to be using any optional special bonus dungeon items. We're going to do it just the old-fashioned way with spells and the Giant's Glove, which, strictly speaking, didn't work in the NES version anyway, but it's because Chaos gets so much extra HP in the remake, it's the only way to really do it now. So, let's go. If he only had 2000 HP, a White Mage with the Mazmune could totally just kill him on her own without having to do anything special. But we don't have that option. Of course, in the original, you could only get to level 50 anyway, so it's different. That was a pretty bad-looking level up. I don't think we got any stats at all. I was also kind of hoping we could get to the next breakpoint for our Holy Spell. I'm kind of hoping that we get to 60 intelligence before we get to level 99. I kind of have a bad feeling we're not going to quite make it. But it just depends, like we got intelligence that time, it just depends on the background math and random numbers and however it all works. Last episode I ended up spending a fair bit of time sidetracking into math. I'll try to avoid that for today's episode. Unless you guys really want to hear some more math. You want to hear some more math? Look, 2 level ups with no intelligence. That's not what I wanted. So we've also got this handy dandy Thor's Hammer. It bonks. It's a solid bonker. I don't think this guy's weak to Dia spells, but honestly, I don't know if I've ever tried. He's actually weak to Dia spells. So I wonder if that means that, like, canonically, the idea is the Eye, which is kind of the boss in the ice cave here. Just bear with me for a second here. The Eye, Evil Eye, he was not weak to Dia spells. So this was a living creature, a living Eye. Kind of a watered-down beholder, I guess. A non-copyright infringing beholder. And then later on, way later in the game, once you travel back in time, now you've got a Death Eye, which is considered undead. So that's kind of neat. I wasn't... Because it was called the Phantom in the NES version. And now he does have all the sort of undead resistances. That's kind of the trigger. And he's weak to Dia, like it says. Neato. Well, sorry for that little sidetrack, but I thought that was kind of neat. There is a name for undead beholders in Dungeons & Dragons as well. The name eludes me, but there's definitely a nod to them, I think. I feel like that's probably what the original Final Fantasy I designers were intending. Because a lot of enemies in this game are versions of Dungeons & Dragons enemies. I mean, you know. This is sort of like the first version of a non-official Dungeons & Dragons video game, in a way. Obviously, eventually we got all the AD&D actual using the rule set type games, but, you know, Final Fantasy, it was pretty, I would say, ahead of its time in terms of the NES, sort of, those early console sort of mechanics, and even though it had a lot of bugs and maybe wasn't fully fleshed out perfectly for balance, it took the role-playing game a long way. I mean, there was technically Dragon Quest, or, well, Dragon Warrior in the West, Dragon Quest 1 in Japan. Technically that was another RPG with levels up and money and stuff that came out before Final Fantasy, but it was pretty simplistic compared to this game. That was another very bad level up. Yeah, we've only got 9 levels up left. I don't think I'm going to hit 99, or sorry, 60. Shucks. There are pieces of equipment that buff your intelligence if that's what you really want, but they're all in the optional dungeons, so I'm not going to allow myself to use them for the main vanilla chaos fight. Hey, basilisks, how's it going? Hey, I just need a bunch of good intelligence levels up, then we'll be fine. And seeing as the holy spell is so overpowered, we might as well just win all of our fights with it, because it's the quickest way. I'm pretty sure we would just fail to run half the time. Ooh, another intelligence. Oh, are you going to make me 4 more in 7 levels? It's possible. It's still possible. We're not out of the playoffs yet. Alright. I don't even know if it's going to do anything, but we've still got a chance. Alright, so the first boss, the Lich Revisited. Let's just test out Diaja, although I expect Holy is better anyway, but I just want to see. 450, not bad. Actually, that might be, well, it's about the same, I think. 450, yeah. So I guess Diaja is still technically the way to go. Use that Dia spell while you've got an option. It saves a little bit of MP, sure. Unfortunately for the Lich, most of his fancy-dancy level 8 black magic we're just immune to. Other than the nuking. Sorry, even your cool spell animations, I'm just going to speed through it. He does get quite a lot of HP. It might be faster if we had just gone with the buffing of the Thor's Hammer. But, you know, we got all this magic. We might as well use some of it. Alright, 1 Revisited Fiend down. How can we do on bonking Fire Gygases? Yeah, that's pretty good. You can't really run from them. So, I don't think you can anyway. I might be wrong, but I think you cannot. You can run from this fight, though. Or you can just blast them. Blast them! They're not as great as experience as a purple worm, but I'll take it. Oh, no intelligence that time. We're running out of level ups. If we end up with 59 intelligence and are 1 shy of my target, I'm going to be sad. Be sad Ankylo here. Alright, we got ourselves another boss fight. So this time, assuming I can get to her. Hey, another intelligence. Oh man, we are going to be very close. 5 level ups to get 3 more. Still have a chance. I'm going to be a little bit smarter here and actually blink up, because I still worry a little bit about Marilith's physical damage. It's no Chaos or War Mech or Kraken, but she can still hit pretty hard, especially with 6 attacks. Now, what I was going to test out on the first version of Marilith was if I could get her to run away with fear. I don't think the odds of it working on the second version are like anything we should really try. And I don't even know if it works in the remake. I know in the NES version, the first carry you could technically get to run away. Unless I'm really confused. But I figured we'd try a few times just for interest's sake. I don't want to do this for too long. But you never know. Maybe we could hit her with fear. I should have tried it on the first one. That was my bad. I forgot. Let's do 3 more and then we'll call it good. Alright, 1 more try. I mean, that's kind of what I figured. Alright, so, the way I will kill the Marilith is not with Holy, because that's going to take too long. I wonder if that would have worked. If you could get Dispel to hit, would that reduce protections enough? But then again, the bosses seem to be immune to Dispel anyways, so... I wonder if Dispel is considered like a specific status, like what element of status is that? That worked! Whatever it did, it worked. Does that mean I could fear her now? Like, I don't know if Dispel is actually gonna have done any, like... I guess, like, she would have been strong to fire originally. So maybe by doing Dispel, Fire 2 will do normal damage. Yeah, maybe. Let's just compare some damages here with the different elements. We had 198 from fire, 252 from ice, and 200. So it's about 200 damage from the level 3 spells and a little bit over 200 for the ice spells. That's all about the same. So either she resists all of them or she doesn't resist all of them. I have a feeling that Dispel actually did work in that situation. And that's kind of neat. So I guess, like... I still don't know if statuses are affected by Null All. That's one of those things I don't know about, and we don't really have the option of... Like, I would need to bring a white wizard and a black wizard, or red wizard at least, to really test that out, because we only have one status. Well, we've got silence. This is just science, guys. It's just playing around with science. She might be immune. I think if you're immune intrinsically, then the null spell, or the dispel, like X-Fer, essentially. I don't think it can do anything if you're completely immune to it. But I've never actually seen X-Fer or Dispel actually hit a boss before. So I feel like it's worth at least spending a couple turns trying. I don't think anything here is going to be particularly effective, though. It would be neat to try comboing this with some black magic, just to see. Because we were able, on the Black Wizard run, to get her darked, I think. And that was pretty cool. Silence would be quite nice as well, because she uses a lot of magic. But yeah, I'm going to call that, that was fun. Let me buff up and then just kill her. I mean, we got to see Dispel hit, and I think it definitely removed her elemental protection, but it might not touch your status protection, in which case, sadly, it's not going to make much difference late game for any enemies that you're... Like, it doesn't make them weak to the element, it just removes their resistance, so... Assuming that's how it works. Anyway, that's one super bonk. Let me just double check here what she's got for actual resistances. So the Merilith 2.0, she's only resistant... Oh, she is resistant to fire, ice, lightning. So remember, I was doing about 200 damage from fire and ice and fire and lightning, and 220 for ice. She's technically resistant to poison and stone, so she shouldn't be immune to silence or fear, according to this. But she's got a really high magic defense, so that's kind of the problem with statuses. I suppose that does back up the logic of why the mages are so hard to get hit by statuses, if that's how it works in the remake, actually. It doesn't really show you, but assumedly the mages all get pretty good magic defense growth. I wish there was a line here that said M defense. That would be so handy for my my science experiments. Right, so water elementals are pretty strong. We're not going to do our testing here. Let's just kill them and move forward. So this is a good group. These guys are all weak to lightning. So what I can test out is what the base damage of fire is. 100. They're probably strong to fire, so they took half damage. They should be weak to lightning, so they should take, I think, plus 50% from that. So I'm expecting like 250. If 200 is our base Fira Thundera damage. Oh, maybe, yeah, that's, yeah, 200 plus 50% is 300, of course. So I think the 200 damage we were doing against the Merilith would support that originally we would have done 100, and then X-Fer let us do double damage, essentially, because we would have been doing half of that. That's actually quite cool. I like that. I didn't think it would work. Ice, are they also... Ice just does more damage. So if 200 is your base damage with Fira and Thundera with your current intelligence, I feel like Blizzara is like 25% stronger than Fira and Thundera, approximately. There's probably a specific magic power number. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Fira and Thundera, Fire 2, Lightning 2, each have like a base power of 60 or something. And then Ice 2 has a power of 80 or something like that. Or 80 and then 100 kind of thing. We'll never know because I'm not going to look it up. Alright, so the big fat Kraken smacking us around with his 8 tentacles. What is this, some kind of Japanese hentai? Whew. Let's not go down that path. His face is something peculiar, I gotta say. I don't like that face. Like I said before, I don't know what his deal is with his purple cloak. Some sort of octopus royalty, no doubt. But his face kind of scares me a little bit. Alright, so let's Giant's Glove it. I don't think he's actually weak to lightning, even though I think maybe the first version of him is weak to lightning, and then the second version is just neutral to lightning, I think. Not like it matters, because you'd very rarely use Lightning 3 here, unless you're playing the NES cart, because then you're really short on spell slots and you want to save your nukes for later. That should be enough, right? 2,000 damage. That's pretty good, you know. I mean, we're overkilling it with the Giant's Gloves a little bit. You know, I'm going a little bit deep, just for funsies. Alright, this is the final dangerous floor. This is our chance to get to level 99 and hopefully get 3 out of 3 intelligence level ups. Come on, you can do it. I believe. I did not get it. Well, we're locked out of 60 intelligence. Now, strictly speaking, there are items called Mind Plus that you can use in the menu and will give a character +1 intelligence permanently. They are, if they drop, they probably only drop from the optional dungeons. And I know they're in chests in a bunch of the optional dungeons, so if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, you can definitely get to 99 on any stat you want to if you put in enough time. Oh, we're level 99 already. Well, 58 is all we get. 2 below. I did say I'd be mad if we got exactly 59, so the game's just accommodating me. Okay, so seeing as we got the Mazmune, our attack gets up to 69. That's a pretty good number. We actually did not max out our accuracy, although I believe this will still be 8 attacks anyway. Let's find out. Yeah, 8 attacks, 600 damage. So, as always, oh, seriously? We actually got the low percent drop. I'm probably not going to use that, just so that if you're watching this and you want to play along, we'll pretend you don't have access to that. Maybe I'll do the fight twice. Depends on how much time we have. I'll put a save down right before Chaos so that we can show off how much easier it is with the Hermes shoes. Or I'll use them on Tiamat just to be silly. That would be a waste though. Alright, so now that we have the Masamune, stuff like all these bosses, pretty easy. In fact, you could make a good argument, especially if you're playing the NES version, you should probably exit out and then do the dungeon again and only save your MP and your spell slots for Chaos, basically, because usually as a white mage, you're going to use all your fades getting down here to pick up the Masamune, killing these bosses, and then once you've got the Masamune, you can kill them with the Masamune just fine. Especially with their vanilla HP stats that are not 10 times as high. But yeah, it takes fewer Giant's Gloves now to make a big impact because our basic hit rate and accuracy are up a fair bit. So there we go. Tiamat is down. And we are not quite out. We're out of here. Thanks, game. We're out of here. Alright, we hit the level cap, which is always handy for a mage. Let's heal ourselves to tops. And ether it up. Want to start with full everything. Let's move some items around. We want Giant's Glove primarily. We're probably not going to be using this stuff. Just want to make some space here. I mean, we could save a little bit of MP by using the Defender, but that's no big deal. Alright, so we want access to this. This is kind of the main items we're going to use. Probably won't need the dry ether. If you're stuck using normal ethers, you're going to have a bad day, though. So 3 X potions and 2 elixirs. We got 1 or 2 X potion random drops, but no random elixir drops. So this is fairly average. Not that we really need it because of the whole Cura Jaw spell thing. Let me put a save state down here. So the first attempt, I want to show off a no hacks run. Basically, we're not going to use the Hermes sandals. Oops, that was a mistake technically. We're gonna play as though you didn't get the random drop, just so if you're playing along, this is how you'd have to do it naturally. So the good thing, one of the really good things about the White Mage, and it is a huge improvement here, one of the very best abilities we've got for fighting Chaos, is at any time that you're worried about your HP, you can pretty safely max your HP up as many times as you want. Now, you have to watch your MP, but the ability to go full health anytime is very handy. There's probably no other spells that make any difference. We could protect up a bit. I'll do it a couple times. I don't know if they even affect the crits, but I do know that Chaos crits for a ton of damage, and anything that potentially increases our defense and gives us some resistance to his damage, I feel is a good thing. So we'll go like 4 Proteras. I think they protect a little bit more than a normal protect. So, there you go. If he does manage to hit us, hopefully those absorb some of the damage. And then now it's time to just buff our damage. Hopefully I can buff it a few times before he gets to his Curaja, but I may have wasted too many turns on Protect and Blink. We'll see. Unlike the other characters, though, because we can full heal so easily, we save a lot of turns rather than him dealing 100 damage, us healing 150. Him dealing 150, us healing 150. We can actually just keep doing actions and then use a Curaja. So there you go. He got 1 attack in, but only did 86 damage. That's actually a lot less than what he was hitting most of the other characters with. So that's quite nice. So I'm mostly just waiting for his Curaja. He hit 146, but again, that's less than the 400s we were often getting, and 94. Like, we would have been dead there, I think. So I think, honestly, if you're playing with a white mage or maybe a red mage, putting a few protects on is actually probably a safe way to play here. It's hard to say exactly how much it does, because it's all, you know, behind-the-scenes math. But just my anecdotal evidence is saying probably criticals don't completely ignore your defense in this game. I think they ignore all absorb in the NES version, but maybe they only ignore half of your defense in this game, for instance, or something like that. I don't really know. They obviously, a critical ignores your evasion, but maybe they decided that was enough. You don't need to ignore everything. There's his Curaja. Alright, time to see how much we can do. Oh yeah, wasn't I saying I was going to do 26 sabers to get to max? I have not been counting. So that's a mistake. I totally was planning on doing the 26 count. Ah, shoot. Now I feel bad. We're just going to play around with old Chaos here for a little while. But I mean, hopefully you understand that as long as you're a little bit careful with your Curaja and your MP, you can keep this going for a very long time. That was a pretty big hit he got in there. I like to heal up around this point. Once you're around 400, I feel you're probably pushing your luck if you go much lower than that. Because he could theoretically still crit for 400. And that would be very unfortunate to die after buffing yourself up for 10 minutes straight. Yeah, that was another big hit. Every now and then he gets a really high damage physical hit in. But it's not like... So if you were using the Holy Elemental strats, like, again, I just want to point this out. If you're trying to kill him with Holy, you're going to run out of MP, and you're going to spend a lot of time using Ethers and Dry Ethers and Elixirs. And honestly, 460 is probably not going to kill him before he Curajas again. So I don't really think that's a good strategy. It's a pretty bad one, in my opinion. You're going to want to go for some sort of Mazimmune physical damage strat. And the Saber buff is probably the best, most time-efficient, turn-efficient way of getting that damage up there. Now, of course, the Hermes shoes would really to the moon and back it. What do you guys think? You think I'm getting close to 26 yet? Is there a way I could find out? If I attack and I get 16 hits in, then I believe... I guess I should wait a little longer. If I can do 16 attacks unhasted, then I believe we are at the accuracy cap. Like 255 plus 255 should get us 16 attacks. So that's kind of the only way I can test if I've really fully maxed it out, because I'm not counting. But we must be pretty close. I'm kind of was thinking like his second Curaja is probably coming up pretty soon, and that was kind of when I was going to attack him. Unless I missed it if I wasn't paying attention. It's possible I wasn't paying attention. Maybe we'll end up waiting for his third Curaja by accident. I can do this all day. We're not even halfway through our MP. You think you can stop me, Chaos? We're just going to sit here. We're going to charge up our Kamehameha or our Spirit Bomb all day long until you get 2 crits and kill me before I get a heal off. But that'll never happen. I feel like we must be there. That must be like 26 by now, right? Someone has counted in the comment section, you know. I'm going to put actually a save here because I lied. And I'm just going to show off, this is the vanilla kill, assuming we are able to kill him. And then I'll show off the Hermes later. Yeah, so 16 attacks without haste. That means you got your basic 8 hits plus 8 more from Saber, and you're also already at the max damage. So we're doing 3,700 damage as a white wizard. That'll kill him in 6 attacks? 6 or 7 attacks, I guess, depending on exactly how much damage we deal. 4,400 is pretty good. And we could always Kuraja here if we're in trouble. So there you go. So that's your no extra item kill with the White Wizard. Not a problem at all. But if you have the Hermes shoes, feel free to throw these puppies down. This is what I wanted to do when we were doing the Master playthrough, the Black Belt. Now, 32 hits, 6,500 damage. 8,200 damage. That's probably the most we've seen for the solo challenges. Now, I know the Master can do more, but over 8,000 damage. Oh, right before the Kuraja, you lucky devil. I mean, he is kind of a devil, so it's fair. But yeah, basically, we're at the point where we can kill him in 3 hits. That's insane. 8,200 damage from a White Wizard. Just a fully buffed up Saber and a Hermes shoes. That's insane. It's going to be hard to get much more damage than that. You could max out your strength at 99 with those plus items. That would get you a bit more damage. There might be a weapon that the White Mage can equip that's stronger physically than the Mazmune. The Ultima weapon, I believe, because it's if you're at full HP, it should do more damage than the Mazmune, so that would be a little bit more damage. Not going to get much higher than that, though. I know that the Master, the Black Belt, can break the 10,000 damage. He can go higher than 9999, which is ridiculous. But it's pretty cool. Anyway, so that's the White Wizard run. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was pretty fun, right? So now we've successfully completed all 6 solo challenges. They were all fairly similar. You know, different strong and weak spots depending on the character. I would say the Black Mage definitely had the hardest start until he got to Elfland and his level 2 magic, or you know, level 3 slots, level 2 fire and lightning. White Mage had a few little tough spots where you had to kill things really slowly, one hit, 1 damage at a time. But assuming you kind of know good places to level up quickly and kind of minimize the grinding with actually hitting things with a hammer, White Mage went pretty well because you can heal yourself. It really helps when you're in a big, tough fight to have Kuraja. It makes it a lot safer because you don't have to worry about running out of X potions and high potions and stuff. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I would rank them in terms of difficulty. Red Mage is the easiest. Probably then Thief, honestly. Which is weird, because the ninja has an easier time with Chaos, because he can haste himself. And then Fighter. And then Black Mage? No, I don't know. But the Black Mage runs around killing entire groups. It's weird, because, like, Black Mage has a tough early game. Thief has a fairly tough early game. Especially if you consider, you know, maybe the way to look at it is the mages that have magic resistance actually had an overall easier time because Marsh Cave, Earth Cave, Ice Cave, they didn't have to get stun locked nearly as much as Fighter, Thief, Black Belt. Those guys died probably way more times just because they got status locked. They got turned to stone, they got stunned, they got insta-deathed. So maybe in that sort of framing, the difficulty, the overall time was actually easiest for Red Mage, and then Black Mage because he went so much faster through most of the game, and then White Mage, and then Fighter, Thief, Black Belt. Black Belt might have had the hardest run for the overall difficulty of the run. He also took a lot more damage from Chaos, from the elemental spells, if you remember, because his innate magic resistance is so terrible. Yeah, interesting. Because in Final Fantasy, like the NES version, the fighter knight was clearly the easiest. But in this one, not so much. If I'd remembered the Giant's Gloves, the fighter and thief would have been a bit easier. That would have helped them kill Kraken, Tiamat, Chaos a fair bit easier. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Alright, folks. Well, I guess that ends it for now. I've got a lot of videos to upload before you guys can see this. I've recorded quite a ways ahead. I've had a lot of fun. I am leaning towards maybe doing some of the optional dungeons. The problem is, I'm not going to do all the optional bosses and dungeons 6 times in a row. That's not going to happen. So I kind of want to pick one of the 6 solos and take them and show off some of the challenges. And I'm not sure which one I will take. I'm trying to decide who's got the best chance, because some of the bonus bosses are really hard to kill. And honestly, the best bet might be the White Mage, but I'm not sure. So I haven't decided. I've probably got a couple weeks before the videos catch up anyway. And maybe we'll have a poll or something, you know? If this video goes live and there's a comment or a description that has a link to a straw poll, and it says, which character should Blue take through the optional dungeons on camera, vote for the one you'd like to see. Maybe that's how I'll do it. Sounds smart. I'll probably forget. If I forget, you can leave a comment and tell me, hey Blue, you forgot. That's fair. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you have enjoyed. I've had a lot of fun revisiting this. I also kind of feel like one day I'll probably have to Let's Play the PSP version, and also do the newest bonus dungeon that I've actually personally never played, because I like those sorts of things. But that's not going to happen for a while. I've done a lot of Final Fantasy 1. We did all the randomizers and stuff. So I'll think about that on my own time, and maybe next year, you know, 2019, maybe. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have any final critiques for the series, feel free to leave comments. I did try a couple of new things for this series. We did sort of super speed mode. I didn't do any save states or like actual literal cheating, but we did a lot of fast forwarding, and because of that I had the music playing in the background. You know, let me know what you think. It was kind of an experiment. I'm leaning to the side of I thought it was a good idea, but I mean, it was my idea, so of course I thought it was good. You know, if you have an opinion on it, please let me know. We also could have stuck with just the game's music and not branched into other Final Fantasy tracks, but I thought it spiced it up a little bit, you know? Anyway, I kind of like feedback like that, so if you've got a thoughts, let me know. This is a series I care about deeply, so, you know, I want to do the best I can. Straight face Ankylo. Alright folks, see you next time for real.